Today we're going to talk about major chords and triads. What is a chord? A chord is three notes stacked on top of each other, and they are played at the same time. We learned about intervals, and a chord is made up of two different intervals. The bottom two notes are a major third in a major chord, and the bottom note and the top note make a perfect fifth. And when you combine all three notes together, you get a major triad. And it should have a happy sound. So here we have our major scale. And you can write this major scale using letter names like C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. You could also use solfege, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Or you can even use numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 1, because the bottom note C is also the same as the top note C. But what happens if we decide to stack chords on each note of the scale? We can label each of these chords with a Roman numeral. The most important chords are the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord. These are written with uppercase Roman numerals because they are happy sounding chords. The 2 chord, 3 chord, and 6 chord are written with lowercase Roman numerals because they are minor chords. And then the 7 chord, which we'll get to later, has a degree symbol, which means it's a diminished chord. So let's try to write chords in the key of D major. The first thing we have to know is the key signature for the key of D. The key of D has 2 sharps, an F sharp and a C sharp. Then we write out the 8 notes of the scale. Making sure to include the F sharp and the C sharp in the scale. Then we draw a third and a fifth above each note to create a chord. To me, they look like little snowmen. So if the bottom note is in a space, the middle note will be in a space, and the top note will be in a space. If the bottom note's on a line, the middle note will be on a line, and the top note will be in a line, and so on and so forth. And remember to include the notes of the key signature on each note of the scale and of the chords. Now look to see where the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord are. Because we included the notes from the key signature, these are major chords. If we didn't include the notes of the key signature, this is what they would sound like. They wouldn't be happy sounding, they wouldn't be major, and they would not be correct. Let's try this again in the key of F. The key of F has 1 flat, and we transfer that B flat to all the different notes of the scale. Notice where the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord are, written in capital letters. And they are major and happy sounding. Almost every song that you know uses the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord. So if songwriting is something that is interesting to you, or something that you want to pursue, or if you want to be able to play songs, you need to know your 1 chord, your 4 chord, and your 5 chord. These songs could not be more different. Lady Gaga is very, very different from AC/DC, who's very different from Bruce Springsteen, who's very different from Flo Rida. But all these songs use the same chords. They may be in different keys, but they are the same. So make sure that you know your chords in all your different keys to be able to play any song that you want.